Welcome to the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports podcast. Whoa.
Jeez.
Guys, if you just are on Twitter, what in the world is, or on YouTube, what just happened? But guys, oh my, this is the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports podcast. I'm your host, Josh. Obviously, to my right is Bashman3, and to our farthest right for you is Rex Shady Nero, who might have just lost his mind to the highest degree yet on the pod. So a record breaker today. But guys, we got a ton to get into today, to say the least. This, I mean, a wild news week, packed with information. Not only did we have the announce of a league play, the announce of a potential, upcoming incredible DLC maps like Express. Not only did we get the news of some roster mania changes, our first changes of starting lineups in the CDL. Not only did we get news about John, not only did we get news about, potential ranked play settings like preset classes, but we also get to do our predictions today for the first event of the CDL, the kickoff event, and we got a lot to get into today. But first, before we get any of that, guys, I've got to ask, guys, what's going on?
Well, Josh, I am feeling like a knight just trotting through the forest, and I'm riding the King's Road on this dirt path that's worn down, but you can tell it's a path. And there's roses to my left and tulips to my right. And all of a sudden, I see a man in peasant gear come up to me with a pitchfork. And he asked me, hey, I need some help with this hay. And will you help me? Good night. I said, my good sir.
Good night.
I will more than willingly help you because you are so pleasant. You are a pleasant peasant. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Wow. A lot to get into today, Sam. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, like I said, a big show today. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, listen on YouTube, all those places. Drop a comment down below on YouTube. Drop a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll be reading. We have a lot of reviews, but we got a lot to get into today, so we're not going to be reading a review today. But we will be reading a lot of reviews in the future, so drop them down below, and we will be reading them. Yes. So, first of all, before we get into anything else today, we are very excited to announce that we have a sponsor today, someone supporting the show, and guys, that's none other than DraftBuff. They are here today. We're gonna be doing a fantasy draft, little mock draft, fantasy draft today, and I'm honestly very excited for this. Obviously, if you guys don't know what DraftBuff is, it's basically fantasy football except for Call of Duty. So if you love fantasy football, or if you ever played fantasy baseball or fantasy basketball on any of those sites, it's like that, but for Call of Duty, it's a blast. And I highly recommend it. If you want to join, the link is down in the description. Please use the code. It supports us, and it supports the COD community as a whole, I would say, because we're going to get a lot moving forward with that, and a lot going on. You can compete in draft royales against your friends or in public groups, and draft royales are like basically season-long competitions that have each event counting as points, and that's one format that they have. Another format that they have is season-long leagues where you draft a team, like what we're doing today. You can mock drafting a team, and then you compete against you and your friends in a league up to 8 people. So you can join down below, invite all your buddies to make a league, and it should be a blast. So hopefully in the future we can do some draft royales together as well and have some fun. So make sure to go down, link in the description down, make your account, sign up, make a league for you and your buddies, and then get prepared to play some draft royales in the next week or two, especially for these opening events. So very exciting. Get your leagues, get your drafts going, and that gets us into our draft today. So for the format of the draft, basically pretty straightforward. We're going to be doing one AR, one SMG, one flex, and then one utility pick. So you can pick any of the positions. Pretty straightforward, and we'll be going from there. So Sam, you have the first pick. Rex has the second pick. I have the third pick. We do snake draft, so I'll have 2 picks, and then we'll go back in order. So we'll rock from there. We're going to be using this little template right here just to track it right there, so like you guys are seeing on YouTube, and we'll get into it. So Sam, you've got your first pick of this mock draft. Who you going with? Oh my word.
Shotzzy.
Oh, what a shocker.
Wow. All right.
Shotzzy.
Okay. All right.
My man, SMG, pulling up the points. It's a pretty easy pick for me.
I like it. Rex, who are you going with?
I will take Arcides.
Oh, wow. Really?
No, that's an interesting pick.
Going main AR off the rip, huh?
Yep. Going main AR.
Why is that?
I think Arcee's going to be the out of all the ARs, I feel like there's a big skill gap between tiers, and I feel like if I just get the one at the top, then not a lot of other people are going to be able to. Other ARs can't compete with it as well.
Well, that leaves. I feel like I got to go simp then on my back here. So I'm going simp, and then I'm looking at like flexes, or I could go utility here and pick another SMG. I'm just gonna double up on FaZe and go a BZ then. So I'll go simp a BZ back to back, double up on the FaZe players, and go all in with that squad. So there you go, Rex. Your boy is on the board.
So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to be picking the next MVP of Call of Duty 2021, Illy.
Shout out Illy.
It was either a BZ or Illy for me, obviously. Yeah. So I like it. Sam, who you got? You got Shotzi right now.
I sure do.
There's obviously a ton of really good players on the board.
Really
I mean, there's no lack of.
No. I'm picking this player because I think this guy is going to be a standout for his team.
Okay.
And put up a lot of points whenever their team is playing.
All right.
Priesta.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Put the money in on the rocker here.
Yes, sir.
I like it.
I think Priesta's going to be a star for the rocker.
Dang.
And I think he's going to be putting up points. So
he's going to be a rock star?
He's going to be a rock star, baby.
Oh, baby.
Wow.
He's going to be a rock star.
Oh, my. I can't believe I haven't seen that one on the social media.
Yeah.
Yet.
You haven't.
All right. Well, you're going back to back here. So
you're
you got
here first. Next pick is going to be...
That was your... Now you have two SMGs, so that was your flex pick or your utility pick.
Utility pick.
Yep.
So for my next pick, I am going...
You are going.
With my man Formal, baby.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Of course. So I shouldn't expect anything different. Shouldn't expect anything different. Very on brand. That's what we're rocking with so far.
H4F.
H4F. Facts.
H4F,
Facts.
baby.
Rex, you're on the board. You're rocking Arcity's Illy at this point. Sam's got Shotzi, Priest of Formal. I've got Simpa, BZ. Rex, who you going with? Who's the third round pick?
I'm going to be taking Celium. Adding that
reasonable.
dynamic dynamite player to my roster.
The whole FaZe squad is off the board.
Whole FaZe squad off the board.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, this is a shame. I honestly regret going a BZ because I feel like there's still so much value on the board, and now I can't go any of my other SMGs. Because I mean, like guys like Hook and Envoy are still on the board as well. Again, guys, this isn't necessarily a straight up talent thing. Fantasy is much different than like straight up COD draft talent situation here. You got
to think of guys who are going to be performing the best on their teams.
Right. And then you also play for upside as well, which is tough to do. So yeah, that is definitely the case. So, oh man. Then, I mean, I guess I'm going to take my flex. I'm going to go for the upside. I'm going to take Dashy and just hope that they ball out. Go Dashy, then I'm rocking main AR, and then I'm going to hope that Seattle balls out and go Octane. So, Simp and BZ Dashy Octane, that's an on-brand hype squad for me, right? On-brand hype squad.
Sure is a hype brand.
All right.
Let's go, baby. Simp and BZ Dashy Octane, the game-winning team right there.
No, here's where I lock it in. Baby. Here's where it all ends. I'm going to take Envoy as my next player.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's a nice squad for sure.
Arcity's, Illy, Celium, and Envoy. Ooh.
See, the thing is, last
I'd
year,
be scared.
fantasy points-wise, Envoy wasn't like an incredible fantasy player.
But have you seen him? This year, he's going to be. I have no doubt in my mind.
I could agree with that. I mean, it's a little bit different this year with how he's playing right now.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's doing crazy in scrims.
So, Sam, you've got the Mr. Irrelevant pick of the DraftBuff mock draft today. So, who are you rocking with? Shotzi, Priest of Formal's your squad right now. That's what we're rocking right now with everybody on YouTube.
So obviously, we need a flex over here.
Yes.
So there's a few to pick from here. Well, this could be a bad pick. I don't know. I'm going with Gunless.
Ooh. I mean, again, it's the high
You're a risk
upside
taker, Sam,
picks.
and I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the risky team, Priest of Formal, Gunless, I like it, man. So that's our final squad there. If you guys are looking on YouTube, boom, shout out DraftBuff again, down in the description. Use the link down in the description. Make your account, create a league, invite your friends, go battle. And if you want to find a league to play in as well, you can go down in the description. I'm going to pin the comment, and you can anyone who's looking for a squad, list your Twitter. And you can reply to the pinned comments with your Twitter, find people to get in a league with. You can also go in the community Discord, which the link is down in the description, and try to find some DraftBuff fantasy leagues to hop into as well. Also, you can check out Twitter and shout us out there. And again, Best of 3 podcast, Best of 3 podcast on Twitter. We're doing a giveaway for CDL merch, trying to get you guys to go follow the Twitter page for the podcast. So the winner will receive any CDL merch of their choice from the season 2 merch. And all you got to do is follow the instructions on the pinned tweet of the Best of 3 pod Twitter account, Best of 3 pod. And check it out. For all of you guys listening on Apple Podcasts, again, DraftBuff affiliate links down in the description. Go check it out. Shout out DraftBuff. They're goated. So let's get right into our quick question today, which was from the Twitter account. So shout out the Twitter account. And we're going to be doing a lot more Q&A stuff from the Twitter account as well. And I don't have it listed right here. What was Sam, you picked it out, right?
Yes. The question is, pick your favorite Call of Duty champs match of all time. It could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be like the grand finals match. Any match within COD champs.
Whose question was this?
Of all time. That is what I'm going to go search for.
Oh, okay.
Because
all right. Rex, lead the way with your favorite pick of all time.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of like a particular like champs series that like I like totally remember. I remember one, but it wasn't champs, but it was Black Ops 3, OpTic Gaming versus Rise, Uplink, and they came back with like they were down like 11-0.
Oh wow.
And they came back, they made 0 points in the first half. Second half, they came back and won it with like I think it was Karma, who had just had a clutch throw in to just win it all. I believe it was Karma. I'm not confident in that. But it was so like that was the hypest moment. Like it was so hype. But champs, I guess I would say. I mean, I was a huge E United fan, so
it's got to be one of those.
E United or not last Black Ops 4 E United. Grand finals against 100 Thieves and just smoking them. Made me feel great because they were struggling kind of before they got
makes
sent.
sense. That
So
makes a lot of sense.
That.
The question was from Jordan Thompson at TNT Emergence.
Yes.
Goated.
Thanks, man.
My man.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the nice comment. Sam, do you have
I sure do.
a moment?
I was here for this. I was at this champs.
Ooh.
First champs I went to. The first and the only champs I ever went to. World War II. This is, I believe it was the third day, day 3. LG versus Rise.
Oh, man.
And this was a knockout match. This is huge. Formal on LG.
Horny for Formy.
Horny for Formy. I'll tell you what, the crowd was packed for this one.
Rise self-suck.
Rise was was favored to be like winning this or top 2, huge.
Oh yeah, Rise was the team.
LG down 0-2 map count.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to come back on Rise, right? No. They come back. First game, they come back. Second game, game 5 S&D. It was a DLC map. I forget what it was called.
Valkyrie. Yep.
S&D Valkyrie. I think the S&D round count was like 5-4. Slacked in a 1v2.
Yeah.
Gets the first kill.
Yeah.
Second kill, he gets when it was a bomb diffuser, and I tell you what, there was
millimeters.
There was not a hair left to defuse the bomb, and Slack gets the kill
to save around 11.
LG win, knockout Rise, top 16, I think it was, or top 12.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so hype.
I love it. I would say mine would have been during BO4. It's because I was reffing the match, and it was when Reciprocity knocked out LG.
It could have very been, yeah.
Oh, because it was on the Bravo stage, I think.
Huh.
But it was I was on the Reciprocity side, and so I was seeing them get hyped, and like they clutched a control. I think it might have been a reverse sweep. But anyway, Zed reacted to it on his YouTube channel. Shout out to Zed. But like that match overall, I feel like the hype was just so real there, and like seeing the comeback happen was pretty dope. Besides that, I mean, yeah, basically any of the champs moments. I mean, like World War II is so fun. It was a blast. And my favorite Bravo boys. Shout out the Bravo boys.
Bravo boys.
Shout out Bravo boys if you guys are listening.
They were great.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good moments, man. So many in COD history that you go back on. I mean, obviously, some like the ghost stuff and all that was so fun too. So all the way back then. But that was a fun question. I wish we could talk a lot more about that because maybe we will in the future because there's so much to go off of. But with that said, I think we can finally get into the news of the week today. There is so much to talk about today, man. We are going to be here a while.
Yes.
So don't go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Here we go. Let's get it. News of the week.
The Call of Duty News of the Week.
Alrighty, news of the week. Let's get it. So, like I said, like I wasn't over exaggerating when I'm talking about there's a lot to talk about today in the news section. So, first of all, do you want to start off with like the whole preset classes, league play conversation? So,
sure do.
Today there was Luti dropped kind of like the nuke today on the idea that the competitive COD might be getting preset classes for competitive play. And that would mean that inside of the CDL settings, when you selected the CDL settings, it would load up a literal just selection of classes that you can choose from, whether that be 10, 15 classes, probably something like that, to be able to choose from. And basically it's in response to the amount of GAs that there are. And he talked about that it would potentially be happening in the next few weeks, and then by the middle of February, which is right when the league starts, right when everyone's expecting league play to happen. I mean, this is some big time news. And the EU also announced their gung ho GA as well. Dude, I mean, thoughts on this potential of preset classes and what the effects might be for competitive COD?
I honestly, I mean, so at first it's like, oh, they're taking away like the whole, you know, creativity of like creating these classes. But then if you go into a league play, people are just running things that are GA'd and like, you know, aren't fair, and it kind of can gets tilting. I think by adding these preset classes, it will mitigate that. So like everyone's more on a level playing field. I don't know how they're going to preset their classes. Like if there's going to be a bunch of them, I'm assuming there's going to be classes with stuff that is GA'd and more, I guess, like, you know, fun and just run around and like
Maybe.
And it could be like, you know, cheap in a way like that. Maybe. Unless they really like are dedicated to it and really make it like the pro scene, then I think honestly I'm okay with it. But I'm curious to see what they actually end up doing with it.
Yeah, I want to hear your opinion as a Halo guy, but real quick, it is weird because it's like they could have just said, oh yeah, we're just going to make all the GAs a rule set, and that's just going to be enforced in the rule set.
Right.
I mean, basically it would be effectively the same thing. Because I mean, right now the pros use only like a variation of like 4 or 5 different classes. Yeah. It's like 2 different AR setups, 2 different SMG setups, a sniper setup, and then different smokes and stuns. Like that's really all it is right now. So in my opinion, the only real true benefit of this is actually if they're going to be able to limit how many smokes and trophies are on the map. And if that's going to be the case, that'll be pretty exciting. Yeah. Thoughts from Halo guy?
Yes, Halo guy. I love this. I honestly think I'll take it a step further even.
Oh.
I would say give us 1 Krig class, give us 1 SMG class, give us 1 Sniper class, and that's it. As a Halo guy, when you spawn into Halo, 4v4, everyone starts with the exact same weapon, 1 weapon. That's it. I think when everyone starts with the same weapon, it is the most competitive it can be because your creativity comes in how you play, how you move around the map, how you control the map, and that not in how you set up your guns. When everyone has the same guns, you are basically giving everyone the same tools, how to use those tools to your advantage.
I mean, that's basically what the pros have been working towards the past year and a half, 2 years anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with this, since I mean, realistically in BO4, everyone had the exact same loadout. Yeah. I mean, what's the difference?
Exactly.
You just had you had the same loadouts for every single weapon. I mean, nowadays with different, you know, with the weapon, with the gunsmith, it definitely has created a little bit more like question marks about like which compensator do you use, or you know, which barrel is this G8? I don't know. You know, so it does. It's just ironic that like you add in the gunsmith to create so much variety, and then this game is the one that it causes the COD scene to have preset classes.
Yeah.
Like, even though basically that was already the case.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, is it possible that they could actually limit how many snipers are on the map? Like,
unless they make it where it's like you can only, like
once somebody
lock you
selects
in.
one, it
They locks
grays
it out. But I don't think they'll do that. I would be really surprised if they did that.
I mean, that'd be the ideal situation.
It would be the ideal situation, but I don't know if that's what's going to end up happening. It'd be super cool if it did, because then it could really be like, this is the AR player, these are the SMG players, like this is your guy running trophies.
Yeah, it would really solidify roles.
Well,
It
because
would
like
really
think about like
solidify
Overwatch, like
That's
Overwatch. You have like preset classes. You have your characters
Who have their abilities and their
who
weapons.
have their abilities, and that's it. Like that's them. So like I don't know. Part of it is kind of like, yeah, like you can't like customize it, but it's kind of more the act of getting used to what is being used.
And it's like the customization really didn't exist in the competitive COD scene anyway before that.
So I don't know.
Tell me what happens though. Don't get me wrong. I really like it. I think from a viewer's perspective, it makes new viewers coming in.
That's the biggest thing.
It makes it easier to understand. It's like, oh, they're using that class. That's the one I use.
They're the
using
AR. Oh, they're the SMG. They're the sniper.
You know exactly what they're running, and then you can run it without having to think about it.
Yes.
The only thing is what happens when preset classes get GA'd? You know, an update comes out or a patch comes out. All of a sudden they're saying that barrel's overpowered. We got to GA it. How fast are they going to be to go in there and patch these preset classes?
Right. At the end of the day,
when will the pros decide when that's a GA or not? That's where I see an issue.
The pros have 100% of the power. I mean, when it comes to rule decisions, the pros have all the power.
Yeah.
I mean, the CDL and Treyarch have tried to hold out. They've tried. Obviously, it's not working. Yeah. You know, because the pros have completely decided the meta for the competitive scene at this point. It's, I mean, literally, you know, the CDL has not banned anything officially besides the most obvious things like DMRs and stuff.
Yeah.
And yet we still have a massive laundry list of GAs because the pros are the ones that control the scene at this point because how long they've been in the scene. It only makes sense. Yeah. So it's like, at the end of the day, it all comes down to, will the developer work with the competitive COD scene to actually make the game fit the meta that works best for competitive COD? And if they do, then it'll work. If not, we're going to have GAs.
Yeah.
So,
you know what's an interesting solution too is in Gears of War, when you go into either ranked or social, there's different weapon tuning depending on if you're ranked or you're social.
That is weird.
So like, do you think that would help or do you think that would just make it more confusing? Because part of me is like
we're like, if you played ranked, one gun could be complete garbage.
Like the shotgun, the Nasher and Gears of War would be tuned differently in ranked than in like a pub.
Right. That's weird. That's weird. Like in theory, like the MP5 could be the best gun in pubs.
Yes, but then
it's just the 74U.
Yes,
is the best for competitive.
Yeah. So and like that.
That's weird. I don't know. I feel like that creates a little bit too much confusion.
It could. Yeah.
Where like, has that always been the case in Gears from the beginning?
I have no idea.
That's weird.
I just know that like when
in 5?
I think it was actually 4 last time I played. I played 5, but 4 definitely said like a note.
That's weird.
Weapon tuning is different based on ranked or social. So I don't know.
I don't think it'd be the best case scenario. I do think the best case scenario is that the pros, they finally get to a point where they're okay with the rule set. They don't really GA much more. And then we get to a point where in the ranked play, you have one sniper class available.
Yep.
You have, maybe 2 AR. You have at max 3 AR classes available and at max 3 SMG classes available. Yep. And then you just go from there.
Yeah.
That could be pretty interesting. And then smokes are interesting as well. Like right now, you can only run 2 smokes in hardpoint. I mean, 2 smokes in S&D, no smokes in hardpoint. So it's like, hopefully they're not available in respawn, but they are available in S&D. Yeah. And then hopefully, there are only 3 trophies are available for a team and you can't run any more. It's like, those are the weird things. For me, it's like, how do you enforce that in ranked play? Where like, if Treyarch's not willing to actually change the full-on meta of the game for competitive, then they have to at least compensate us in this way to give us a way to balance it ourselves.
Yes.
Which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so like hopefully maybe there's a way to customize those classes and like do that like in the menus. So like maybe CDL wouldn't, or Treyarch wouldn't necessarily have to always update it, but at the worst case scenario, you can manually update it to be that way.
Yeah.
For like custom games and stuff at the least. But in an ideal world, it's constantly updated by the CDL and by Treyarch. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think the potential is really, really interesting. I saw some mixed opinions on Twitter about it. Yeah. I mean, people were kind of all over the place. Like, this sucks. Like, ruins of creativity. It's not competitively as interesting as before, and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think I agree. This is the best case scenario for what we've got so far from Treyarch. And if it's done correctly in the way that we're talking about with like limiting smokes and snipers and trophies, this is the best case scenario for ranked play.
Yeah.
And I'll be pretty excited about that if that's the case.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty cool. So anything else on that? Overall, I hope
it's done right.
This is,
if it's done, I hope it could honestly go horribly.
What's the worst case scenario? Yeah. What's the worst case scenario?
They make like those crazy classes like default class 1 that you get, like, it's just like, like they have like 3 times scope on an AR, like sort of like weird stuff happening. That's the big fear for me, is like they just throw really weird classes on there.
Well, I have hope because last year on the CDL playlist, they had custom CDL classes for the CDL playlist, and in ranked play for BO4, they had custom competitive classes there. So they at least have some experience doing that type of stuff and working with the pros in that way. So, and we know Treyarch has our backs, like at least from how they talk.
Yeah.
Vonderhaar has been very vocal about that. So, and we've seen the stuff on the Reddit about them responding. So overall, it gets me excited, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Based on everything we heard, this is for sure happening. Gamepedia said that it's happening. They heard it from someone else as well. And so I think from all we know that this is for sure happening. It's just a matter of when and how, and if it's for ranked play and how that's going to play out and what it would actually look like. And again, still no information on that. So hopefully we can have a little bit more information on that in the next few weeks and talk a little bit more about it when we get more information on it as a whole. So with that said, the next big piece of news is newsy stuff, is some roster mania-y things. First of all, Sam, this is a good day for you, man.
This is such a great day
John is
to me.
officially on the track back to COD.
Finally, dude. People forget.
People forgot quick.
People forgot quick, and it's so sad because John has a long history in Call of Duty and a winning history in Call of Duty too.
Yeah.
He is a fantastic player.
And not that long ago, he was very, very good.
Exactly.
So it's not like some of the other veteran guys who've slowly kind of like tapered off. John's been pretty dang consistent.
He's been consistent. So I don't know what his path looks like up to if people are willing to, get him on a substitute spot on the CDL, or if he's going to be, playing his way through challengers again. But I don't know. I feel like people would be making this mistake if they just wrote him off as he's useless.
He basically said he's been going through a lot of health stuff. Said with final check with an IV boost. We're back, baby. I want to thank APOC and Derek for helping me this year or Dr. Rick with helping me this year along with everyone they have me working with to take control of my health. Appreciate it, and seeing the love y'all were sending me throughout the year. Time to work towards these championships. So there it is, Sam. There it is.
I can't believe it.
What is the most likely scenario for John, man? Is it? The first thing on Reddit I saw was, "Sorry, Pristini." That was the first thing I saw on the Reddit.
Or even Subliners, man.
Subliners, Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to come in as a starter right away. I feel like they're going to want to see him. Like, I see him playing like one Challengers Cup, maybe, and then getting picked up as a sub. Well, maybe he'll get picked
hop
up
into
as
those
a sub right away.
Pros.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, hop in the 8s, and see how he's doing. We don't even know if he's really touched Cold War yet because of this whole thing.
No, we don't.
So, like,
again, we know he played... Right. We know he played a little bit of Modern Warfare, but he couldn't compete. We still don't know exactly why he couldn't compete last year. Maybe one day we'll get word on what happened with that. Maybe not. I don't know. John has been pretty quiet about that.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, he competed in one not official LAN tournament last year in North Carolina, and he won it with that squad they went to. It was a pretty local LAN though, so it's not very surprising.
Yeah.
But it's not like we know what he's got, and dude, I'm not going to bet against him in the long term to get back to the CDL. Again, like I said, he'll be in those 8s lobbies with pros. If he wants in, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
So the question is, how good can he play? How quickly can he catch on to the game? And I feel like this game fits his play style. So, come on, there's a pretty decent chance.
Yeah, no, I honestly see him being picked up as a sub and then finding his way on the starting spot if someone's slacking a little bit. Subbing John.
Slacking, huh?
He hasn't played with Slack before, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I think off the rip, I mean, I would have said Mutineers until recently.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it in a second.
Mhm.
But I feel like off the top of my head, LAG,
Yeah.
Seattle, and New
Paris.
York, and Paris are kind of like the 4 teams that come to mind that would
Yeah.
be most likely landing spots for John.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because you even see like Scraps like wanting John on his team, like help me out.
Classic.
Yeah, Classic too. Like help me out over here, John. Or Subliners.
Or that is 4 Classic. Or,
exactly. Who knows?
Or Aqua. I mean, how they want to play that, who knows?
I know. Yeah, Subliners
Who could run it?
for
Yeah, that'd be
Hydra.
weird.
Hydra's still kind of a weird situation if he's stuck in France.
Yeah,
Or what. LAG. He's subbing in for Silly
Right.
or for Vivid if he's not performing. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities for him, and he's established enough where pros are willing to bring
They
him right
know
back
who
in.
he is. Yeah, exactly. So they trust him there. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Rex, you agree?
I still feel like they're gonna need. I think he's gonna make at least one Challengers Cup go, and then people will start trying to pick him up as a sub. Like they're gonna want to see him play at least a little bit, maybe in the Pro
Maybe.
8s.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I think those pros probably weigh how he plays in 8s more than they would weigh how he plays in Challengers.
Right, so he could be playing in 8s, but I feel like he's gonna need to play in 8s for a little bit before
Oh, for sure.
someone
Yeah.
picks him up.
This isn't like this is happening in the next month type thing. This is more
Right.
like in my mind, like happening by June type thing.
Yeah, so my guess is like he's gonna go through Challengers at least because there's
Yeah.
enough tournaments before that time. So he's gonna do at least one Challengers run, and then either get picked up as a sub or a starter. Depends how he does in Challengers.
Yeah, for sure. So again, with that news, like I mentioned with the Florida Mutineers, the next part was our first actual roster move of the season. And
Of course, it's
Sam's
Mutineers,
bold
too.
prediction. Sam, okay, the news is Neptune is in the starting lineup for Havok, dude. And this is crazy because we did a bold prediction episode, 3 weeks ago?
I think so. 3 or 4 weeks ago.
And then within a week of you making the bold prediction that Neptune would start by, when was it?
I can't even remember what I
It was
said.
a few months in.
Yeah.
Within a week, he was signed as a sub.
He was subbed in.
And then within 2 weeks of him being signed as a sub, he's in the starting lineup.
Wow.
Mhm.
So your bold prediction
I can't
is
believe
looking really juicy right now.
Can't believe it.
already
so
making it happen.
perfect. His name's Neptune. Isn't that like the god of the sea?
It's so
and
on
then the
brand.
Mutineers. It's
They have the trident.
the whole thing. Perfect.
Oh, Neptune. Do you ever watch SpongeBob?
No. I mean, yeah. Neptune either had to be on. I know.
Did you really never watch SpongeBob?
No, I did. I watched.
Oh.
I don't remember the episode.
Mrs.
This is
Puff
the
would
one-
always say that. Oh, Neptune.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh
keep
my.
going.
Yeah, but I mean, Neptune had to either sign with Seattle or with the Mutineers. It was just
Yes,
too on brand.
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, this is extremely interesting.
It's-
Havok hasn't said anything.
No.
He's been pretty quiet about this.
He is fuming.
He's
He's
fuming.
got
I mean,
to be
again,
fuming.
I know how bad of a situation this puts you in. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
getting
Terrible.
dropped in between Challengers Cups and the start of the season. I
Mhm.
mean, what Challengers team's going to take you on at this point without really knowing what's going on with your situation, and then pro point situation and heading into the elite. The
Yeah.
elite series, like there's so much going on. More than likely, he probably does not find a team till elite series starts.
Mhm.
If he's not going to be on the starting lineup, which
Yeah.
puts Havok in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
And
Well, was he let go or was he just dropped down to sub?
sub for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he will even try to go do Challengers
right, that's
stuff.
the question. It's like, will he? Yeah, try to grind Challengers. What will he do? I mean, dude, that's pretty crazy. They benched the first Gen G guy in Mox. Now the second Gen G guy, Havok's benched.
Yeah.
And it's crazy,
Mutineers,
man.
they're kind of they make the path. I think they were the first to pick up like Awakening and pull that sub in before anyone
Yeah.
else. I think did. Like they kind of paved the way for all this types of stuff.
They pulled up Pharaoh right
Pharaoh?
away.
Pulled up
Then
Pharaoh
Awakening,
right away.
and
Yeah.
now Neptune.
Mm-hmm. Frosty brought in Frosty.
Skies is just flipping through him. He's
I know.
Mhm.
Crazy. Sky's an ogre too, man.
But here's the thing:
Yeah, man.
they are looking pretty good in scrims now with him.
they are.
They're looking nasty.
they're-
Neptune is
Yeah.
just
Neptune's putting
looking
up clips.
really good.
He's putting
dude.
up clips.
Yeah.
We've seen him going around the Twitterverse a little bit here. It's definitely impressive. So, I mean, thoughts on this team moving forward? Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit more about them later, so we don't need to go too in depth on them right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, optimistic.
Oh, very optimistic. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure my power rankings I had him as third above OpTic.
Yeah.
I would solidify that for sure. Like, I mean, they're looking
right now.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, they're looking nasty, dude.
OpTic looked a lot better though.
That is true. They have looked better, but I don't know, man. I am excited to see like Mutineers, like to see if they can get to where
sure
they become like a huge threat to even FaZe and Empire too. So
we'll be doing a power rankings video again probably within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. Especially reacting because next week we'll be breaking down what we learned about this, and then so for sure. Positivity is definitely the word to optimism is the word with the Mutineers right now. Let's talk a little bit of challengers because we got to talk about the next cup that happened. Obviously, the headliner once again, man. This is crazy. WestR back to back champs. 4-time champs here now.
Pretty handedly, too.
Pretty handedly. They're looking really, really good. Shout out all their branding team, by the way. They're doing some good work over there. And they beat the Subliners Academy in the grand finals. And that was pretty interesting. Again, WestR, if you guys new around here, Paul X, Zaptius, Venom, Gravity, Subliners Academy, Diamond Con, Proloot, Saints, and Spart. So they were looking really good too. I mean, that was exciting to see them coming through after like kind of figuring out what that roster is going to look like with the Academy team. I'm sure the Subliners were already pretty happy with that now that they're already bringing in some notoriety here early on. Third place was the Kismet Godarex Pander Pentagram
which
team.
I think is interesting because it's all these guys who got dropped because everyone thought that they were worse than what they were showing, and now they're getting third in challengers and they're beating other pros out there who are like
and the Triumph
more
team.
of a name.
Yeah, you would have told me like Kismet, Godarex, Pander, and Pentagram all on team. I'd be like, okay, sure. Third.
I mean,
impressive.
I would love to see him win. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
It would be really a prove him wrong moment. I mean,
it feels so good for all of them.
Right. And then fourth place in the NA was Royalty Standy General Dave Patey, which is Triumph again. Classic. They're always right there near the top. So that was the top 4. And Mochilla's team was really looking decent. And they ended up finishing top 6. They beat out Parasite's team, right? They beat them in a game 5.
Yeah, they did.
So Parasite and that squad finished top 8.
Oh, man.
And now Parasite's a free agent again. So that was a lot going on in the NAC, dude.
Throwing me for a loop. Like Parasite, Parasite's team, if you don't know, they got top 8. Gintroid, Glowfrosty, Parasite, Gunzy. Him and Parasite and Glowfrosty stayed together, and they picked up, I think, Gintroid and Gunzy, which honestly, amazing pickups. And I was like, that's like a pretty solid looking team. I'm a little down on Glowfrosty, just as I feel like he could just be better in general.
He's a good teammate though. I like how he communicates.
No, that's his one thing. But like just as a straight player, like I'm not, he needs to up his skill a little bit more. But oh man, it was the same round of the tournament and the same exact team that beat him last time. And they crushed them in the hard points, like almost 100-point clubbed them in the hard points. And the controls were like, I think it went 3-1, but it was way closer than what that number says. And the
S&D was so bad.
S&Ds are terrible. But again, how much scrim time did they have? And the fact that they separate, again, it's like, I'm like, this team has potential. They are like, can do something. And then the last team was Decimate, Draza, Parasite, and Glowfrosty. Decimate and Draza, left, and they placed worse than they did last time when they were with Parasite. Everyone leaves Parasite, and then they place worse. Like, what's going on? Stick together.
Parasite's pulling the viewers, though. I mean, every time he has like 2,000 plus for every cup.
Because he's so consistent with his placings, but then nobody wants to stick together more than a week.
I know.
And then they leave, and it's like, how? You guys did so good.
Yeah, this is the problem that we saw last year, and then this year, too, is people are scared to stay together.
This is the Elite Series. This is what's causing it, though.
Exactly. It's people are focusing more on the amount of pro points that they have to create the most pro points possible. And people are unwilling to stick together.
Straight up guarantee the Elite Series spot.
And so, like, there's no room for chemistry to happen, which is, I think this is why we're seeing freaking
one team dominate.
WestR dominate, because they are sticking together. They're placing first every single time.
It's just ironic.
It's insane.
Well, a lot of these top teams are sticking together. Like at Triumph, I think for the most part.
No, for sure.
Built by Gamers, I think, has been playing together. Subliners kind of might be relatively new, but
it's like the
it's basically fourth through everyone else
are just a mixing pot, and it's like they're not going to become great unless they can create some sort of chemistry with each other.
I mean, good luck beating WestR when you're not staying together for more than 4 days.
When you're not scrimming with the same 4 guys more than 2 days. Like, how do you ever expect to become good?
Right. So the question mark is like, how long can WestR keep this up? I mean, they have looked elite, unstoppable.
They'll keep it up till the Elite Series, in my opinion. Then when teams are like actually locked in the Elite Series, that's when they'll start becoming more like professional.
I think so too. I mean, we have a lot more cups coming up. I'd have to look up exactly how many, but we have at least 3 more. We don't know when the Elite Series is starting yet, though. Mm-hmm. And what we saw on the timeline was basically they announced a lot more cups, but then from what we heard from WestR in this little call they did with Spark on his pod,
no free shouts.
No free shouts, of course. The Sparkcast, no free shouts. That apparently those cups are basically for teams who aren't going to be in the Elite Series. So we'll see. They haven't yet to announce the Elite Series officially for a schedule or when this is happening, which is outrageous. I mean, come on, dude, announce the series. Like you gotta have it. But I think it's gonna start sometime late February. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Maybe early February. It could start right when the league starts. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But looking forward to it, man. Again, it's going to be an absolute cluster roster-wise, basically up until the Elite Series for any of those middling teams. Yeah. Just trying to scavenge pro points together to find the best seeds for these cups and then try to find the most amount of pro points to get in the Elite Series, which is a crazy time right now.
I mean, I feel like WestR could literally just plateau at this point, and the teams are going to kill themselves by constantly mixing up. Like,
right.
But I get it in the sense of you're trying to solidify your spot in the Elite Series, but like long term, it's just not going to work.
So do you guys believe that WestR right now is better than at least one of the CDL teams?
Yes, by far.
Easily, yeah.
If there was a LAN today, if there was an online tournament today where with all 12 teams plus WestR, if you had to like power rank them, just a fee, where would you put them, do you think?
10? Top 8.
Top 8? Really? I don't know if I'd go that far.
I'd give them 9. 9th.
Yeah, I feel like if they were playing against actual pro teams, I'd have to see it first. I'm like, they're good. They're going to be competitive. Yeah. But like in a double elimination tournament, do I really trust them versus pros? I don't know. It's close.
Maybe 8 is a little high. Maybe 9. 9 sounds like a good number.
I think
10.
I'd maybe put them like probably 10 or 11. But it's hard to justify. Like, do I really think LAG is worse than them? I don't know. It's hard for me to say that.
It's tough.
Do I really think Paris or London or whoever it is worse than them? I don't know. That's what's tough for me. It's like really when it comes down to like when I look at these rosters, it's hard for me to say for a fact that they're better. But again, we haven't really seen these guys play against pros, so it's hard to say. At least not since Black Ops 4. So it's hard to say. So I don't know. It's a really interesting conversation to have though, and I would love to see it happen. Would absolutely love to. So other things there, basically, I don't know if you guys saw that Triumph versus New York Subliners series was absolutely bonkers.
The scoreline was
I went back
insane.
to watch some of it a little bit too, and it was nuts. It was 250 to 213. Triumph won 6-5 round 11. New York won on Garrison. Then Garrison Control. Triumph won 3-2. Garrison Hardpoint. New York won 250 249, and then Moscow S&D. New York won round 11. 6-5. So it's like, oh my dude, just absolutely bonkers. The series was crazy. Good time for sure. But that was a blast. So the other news thing, we probably should have mentioned this when we were talking about Neptune, was that Afro tweeted out its official GIF. Crone says it's either London or Toronto. He says he has followed a bunch of London or a bunch of Toronto people lately, but it could be bait, not sure. So that's pretty cool. I mean, which team would you rather see?
Bans for him.
Dude, you could see like a sub.
Bans for him.
They already have Insight as a sub, though.
They do indeed.
I think it's more likely that it's London.
Think so?
That would make a lot of sense. I mean, Afro, London. I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah. Who would you replace on London for Afro?
That's what makes it such a good sub pickup, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be any.
Once one of them starts kind of faltering a little bit, boom, throw an Afro.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's got to be London, but Toronto would be cool. I'd be down for that, but I'm not exactly sure if that would actually happen. But he deserves one, so it only makes sense. I would love to see it. And so that's something to keep your eye on when that officially gets announced here potentially soon. So other league news. A few things to talk about here. The CDL talked about a league or a Recon at Corp.
Yeah, this was weird.
This is kind of weird. It was basically like on January 15th, they said, want to help influence the future of the Call of Duty League? Why, yes, I would. Join the Call of Duty League Recon Corp and share your feedback on everything from league matches and teams to sponsors and brand partners. Watch Octane making like burner accounts.
It's to be like 20 accounts. Your online comp team sucks.
Lamb Saru? Who is this guy? Why is he roasting us? I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Who's lost in Anacote? I don't know. Who is the guy? I couldn't tell you. But I don't know. It's really interesting. It's like I clicked on the link and it's like, listen, you want to sign up here? And I'm like, I kind of want to sign up. I don't know.
I did.
You did?
I did.
And it says, join the Call of
thing.
Duty Recon Corps. You can be the voice to drive the future of Call of Duty League by providing your takes on league matches, brand partners in the world of competitive gaming esports.
It's kind
all
of
while
like
connecting with other Call of Duty fans. Yeah, wait, you joined it. So what does it look like?
So basically what it looks like right when you sign up, they give you like a little like quiz and it asks you a few questions like, do you think there's, is there too many ads and commercials during this? Like disagree or very much agree? I honestly said branding, esports, stuff like that. I said that there's not enough actually, just because I would like to see more branding stuff happening around. I know, probably not a popular opinion, but that's how I feel. And plus, I just feel like, get more money to them. And like,
I agree.
They're using these
more
polls to show
not
to
us.
add
Well,
people.
Us.
They're showing it to sponsors to try and get these people like, oh, these people
DraftBuff
want to
link.
see it. They want it, so I'm like,
DraftBuff. Yeah, no, for sure.
They ask you a bunch of different questions like, what other esports do you watch? How often are you on your console /PC or whatever?
Right.
And then at the end, it like has like a to-do list. It's like a social media page kind of, and like you can see other people. But there's a to-do list, and like once they have something new come out, they'll send you an email, and then you go and whatever the activity is, you do it.
Can you get denied from the Recon Corp?
I saw somebody
like
post a picture. If you're under 18, you can't do it.
Oh, okay. But it's more like it's more of like
idea.
it's more like the diehard fan email list is really what it is, right?
Well, kind of, but you really are kind of like you're giving your input. So they're going to send emails. Like it's not spammed with stuff in there. There's nothing on the to-do list right now.
That is interesting. I feel like it's kind of repetitive, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of the things, it's a little bit more in-depth. That's kind of cool.
And they have like a forums page where like everyone like can comment stuff about like articles that they post on there. And I don't know. I'm really curious to see what happens with it. And like what they're going to do, I saw on there is like the answers to these quizzes and stuff, they're going to like implement, and on their Twitter it'll show like, I think kind of like how old school RuneScape does it. Like people vote for the next thing they want.
Oh,
I
very
think it's going to be a similar sort of thing.
Old school RuneScape references. Shout out Small XP Lamp, the best old school RuneScape YouTuber out there.
And it might be like a pie chart of like, these people, wanted this, so we're going to implement that into the Call of Duty League or something like that. But they said they're going to tweet about like the results to all the stuff that we're doing for them.
Well, that's kind of, I mean, I'm down. Why not? Like I'm in for this. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the more feedback, the better they need it.
I was going to say, at the very minimum, it shows that they somewhat care. So that's good.
Yeah, and you'll see your feedback in action. I think that's the big part is like the stuff you answer, you're going to see them say whatever happened with it on the Twitter.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. I love that.
That's cool.
In other news, real quickly, I guess we just want to hit on this. Scump kind of like keeps saying like, can't wait to play on LAN, blah, 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 can't wait to play on LAN. I don't know. Some people think he might know something because they did just recently have the some of the player meeting stuff for the CDL, and they're doing all of their photo shoots and stuff for everything. It's been a lot more convenient for the CDL considering all the players are in the Dallas Fort Worth / Frisco area. So I think they've been doing a lot of that down there and doing a lot of their photo shoot stuff. Thank goodness. I cannot wait to get the crispy new thumbnail pictures put up on the website. Yes.
Great thumbnails.
Oh, I love me some good thumbnails. But yeah, so I don't know. Do you have any thought on this? I feel like
I think people
feel
are
like it might just
stretching.
be that-
I feel
I
like
know.
it's just him saying, "I want to go to LAN again." Like I just can't wait
Right.
because
I hate
eventually we're gonna
COVID,
go
I
back
want
to
land.
it.
That's what he's saying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the league isn't gonna take any risk when it comes to COVID. So it's like
have they really scheduled? Have they really scheduled it? I mean, they haven't even told us when the Elite Series
Like,
is. Have they really scheduled a LAN
yeah.
yet? No.
Like it's gonna be a thing where like COVID has to be like non-existent.
You think?
Or
I feel like they might do it like over the summer. Though.
yeah, like
I mean, at this point with how fast testing's getting, I feel like
Yeah.
they could do it pretty
again,
easily.
like I think they could do it in a safe way.
In Dallas,
It's just a matter of do they want to like take any risk, like
right?
even like
If
5%
online's working
risk.
well.
Yes. So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
get
question.
that. No, for sure. In the other big news of the day, man, the other big news before we get into some of the last GA stuff is Express and League play officially. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, my
The
goodness, I'm
heartburn.
dying. Yeah. Is officially confirmed, dude. So again, we talked about League play so much on this. Obviously, League play is finally confirmed, and they have announced that Express is coming
That's
back, dude.
crazy.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Oh,
insane.
I'm hyped. Dude, finally. I mean, this is my
This is your bread and
sophomore year
butter.
high school dreams coming true. I mean,
Bread
the
and
fact
butter.
that we heard Express is coming back, and not only that, but they're working on 8 more remastered maps. Supposedly the rumored ones from all the leakers people is Jungle, Firing Range, Slums, Standoff, Hijacked,
That's crazy.
and maybe Seaside.
That's insane. Like
Seaside?
Seaside's a little interesting one.
Little weird.
but
Yeah.
I never like minded
Oh
Seaside.
no, it was fine.
But yeah, no, it's very interesting how much focus they are doing on just remastering maps.
Maybe they should have been in the game at the launch.
It's almost like they like never even intended to like make or like have new maps be
It's
in
almost
the
like
game.
they should have had them in at
I
launch
know.
for us to play.
I know.
Oh,
But
it's almost like they released an unfinished game
almost
in November.
Yeah. But if these maps
Interesting
actually,
that is.
if these maps actually do come back,
Yeah.
the competitive map set could literally just be all remastered maps.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you'd be looking at Express will for sure be in there for at
Yeah.
least S&D, but very likely for Control as well, I think.
Mhm.
And then Standoff will
Standoff.
probably be in there for all 3 modes.
Yes, dude.
And then you're looking at Hijacked. Could that be a Control map?
Slums, Hardpoint,
Slums will for sure be there for Hardpoint.
Yep.
Would it be there for
Control.
Control or S&D? Maybe.
Hope so.
Firing Range? Probably not competitive, but
Jungle, I don't see being competitive.
Jungle's
either.
probably not competitive either.
No.
But at least those two, I mean, Slums and Standoff are locks. I'm surprised we're not getting Summit after all that teasing they did.
Mm-hmm.
Summit's not mentioned here unless I missed it in the original message. But
who knows?
yeah,
We may still get it.
Summit's not listed there. But like they did so much teasing for it earlier in the year. Yeah, so Summit would make sense, and you could play that in Hardpoint as well.
Yeah. So yes, someone
But
was
it's
a great
like,
map.
my question is, how late in the year are teams going to be willing, or the pros going to be willing to add in new maps? I mean, in AW, they did it pretty late in
They
the
did.
year. It
They-
had to have been in the summer,
They added 2 or 3 maps.
like June or something.
I swear. Yeah.
It was
I
pretty
mean,
late.
if it's
There's that one, like,
Standoff,
box
they're probably
map.
going to be adding that in.
Oh,
no
for sure.
question.
Whenever it comes. Yeah,
And, like,
exactly. And Slums probably.
Yeah.
I think like the majority of voice right now too in the pro scene is that like the maps like they all want these maps. So like
Right. I mean, Clay was talking about how much he hates Crossroads. I mean, the next Hardpoint map that they can sub out, they want to sub it out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say Checkmate's an ideal Hardpoint map by any means.
It plays so strangely, but
I think pros are getting a little used to it now, at least. But
could be. Oh.
I feel like they'd be pretty quick to sub that thing out for Slums.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Hijack, depending on where the hard points are.
Yeah.
And how that plays. Yeah, so at least Slums and Standoff. I mean, Express, who knows? I would love, bro, if we can get S&D Express, S&D Slum, S&D Standoff. So we have Express, Standoff, and Raid as S&D maps.
That'd be sick.
Baby.
That'd be fun.
Oh my goodness, I could be so hyped, bro.
That'd be fun.
Can you imagine playing ranked play and your series is Hardpoint Raid, S&D on Express, and then your next map is like Control on Standoff or something, dude. Oh my.
It'd be great.
It gets me hyped. I can
Nostalgia.
rant all day about this.
Yeah, you could.
I'm in my happy place.
You sure are.
But who knows when those maps are going to come into the game? It could be months, but
Mhm.
at least we know they're potentially, in the works, which
Pretty
is
much
pretty
in the
exciting.
works,
Any other
yeah.
thoughts there?
I'm excited. It'll be fun to, have remastered maps, which I think is a recipe to, have recurring good maps within Call of Duty, but also adding in new maps. I wish there was better new maps, but
yeah,
I'm okay with these.
We haven't seen remastered maps in the competitive scene ever, right? Am I blanking on something? No, ever, right?
I don't think so.
I should know this.
Well, Slum.
I feel like
in Black Ops 4. Right?
That wasn't competitive. No.
Was it competitive?
No,
it wasn't. Was it?
So yeah,
yeah, because 5v5 played so weird on it.
Yeah, it was at the beginning. It was.
Yes,
they were testing it out at the beginning, but then they ended up ruling it out. But
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I agree that hopefully this will set a standard for down the road. Every year the game launches with 3 throwback maps, or at least 2. I feel like 2 is a good number to launch with. You launch with 2 throwback maps that will work for competitive,
guaranteed to work,
and then we can try out all the other crap ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other GA news. The pros are still trialing the sniper GA, only one attachment, which again, that's another weird one for like if we're doing set classes, like is that going to be what the set class is? A one attachment sniper? People a casual will load in like, what in
what's
the
happening?
F is this? But and then the EU scene, like I mentioned, GA'd Gung Ho, and then like I said, Clayster hates Crossroads and wants it out really badly, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But who knows? In other news, OpTic coach situation.
Yeah, this was weird.
Supposedly Sender is sick.
Yeah, but like he hasn't been in scrims in a while,
and Karma has.
Yeah,
and then there was a situation where basically Damon was talking about a coach chat, and then Formal was like, "Wait, we don't have a coach," or something along those lines. We have no coach. And then Damon kind of shut up. Yeah. So I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
is this happening?
It was weird, yeah, because like all the Reddit comments were like, "This is like nothing." Center was just really sick for a while, but again, it could just be a thing where they're just saying he's sick, and then behind the scenes they're kind of pushing him out. I don't know.
It's just assistant coach situation.
Yeah, like
I feel like Karma as an assistant coach makes sense.
Like
right?
I haven't like really like analyzed Sender's coaching abilities. Like I don't know.
Right.
So like I don't have a strong opinion on this, but it would be interesting to see like a coaching change. Like that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, we haven't really seen one yet.
No.
I mean, besides like off-season stuff like Royal Ravens and Paris and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. Thoughts, Rex?
I mean, yeah, I guess thinking of Sender as a coach, I wonder if like it didn't seem to have any sort of like animosity towards him as far as I could see. Envoy and him would have like, good chats. Like only thing I could see is that like maybe they just felt like he just wasn't necessary for the team. And I could see that because I feel like Envoy puts in a lot, and just all of them are like very veteran. Like it's hard for someone like Sender to come in and like tell these guys what's going on.
Yeah.
So the only way I could see him like leaving, otherwise he seemed like he fit in, seemed like he got along well with everybody.
Oh, for sure.
But maybe just the players didn't think he really was providing enough to be worth it, and they look for someone else, I guess, maybe.
Or originally Karma, the other option is that Karma's like, "Hey, I want to be your coach," and they're like, "Okay,
sure."
Well, that's what, somebody else who they think would be better.
Yeah, that would be the other thing. But I think at this point, it feels more conspiracy. I think he's still their coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is too.
So.
But to be sick, so like, what's he sick? Like, it must be something kind of serious.
COVID maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. But then it's like, wouldn't you just be at your house?
I know.
Unless he's like actually like in the hospital
really,
and have it bad,
really sick,
which is possible.
Which would be unfortunate.
But usually they would mention something like that, like, "Yo, thoughts and prayers with Sender, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. But that is something to keep in mind as well for you OpTic fans out there, for the potential of Mr. 3-time himself coming out as a coach. So that'd be cool.
Interesting.
I think with that said, we can finally get into our first predictions of the year, guys.
It's been so long.
It's been, when was the last time we did predictions, man? Champs.
Before Champs.
That's crazy. So without further ado, let's finally get into these predictions. Let's go. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness. Prediction time. So what we're going to be doing today is going to be going through the list of the matchups. We have the full matchup list for the weekend. There's 3 matches on Saturday, 3 matches on Sunday during the AFC and NFC Championship. And We're gonna be going through it. So, also, first of all, shout out DraftBuff again for sponsoring this episode. Y'all are goated. And again, go check out the draft segment we did at the beginning of the show if you missed it. If you skipped past it, you little weasels. And if not, again, drop the links down in the description for DraftBuff. DraftBuff down link in the description to go create a league, join a draft royale for the season, or create a league on your own with your friends. And there might be some more coming down the barrel with some fun stuff that we're doing with them, hopefully, and see what happens. So make sure to use that link down in the description to support us and everything else. So with that said, let's get into the predictions, baby. So the first 3 matches on Saturday are some spicy ones.
They are.
We're kicking off with the Dallas Empire, the defending Call of Duty champions versus the New York Subliners and their former teammate Clayster. And then match 2 is LAG versus Seattle Surge, the fun apathy versus Surge, situation there and the storylines there. Then you've got Atlanta FaZe versus Mutineers and a pretty fun matchup with some good teams there.
Good teams there.
So overall, the question is of the weekend is, are we going to see legit COD?
Mm-hmm.
Are these teams going to be really full on 100%, million% trying to win this? And what's on the line? First of all, before we get into predictions, do you think we're going to see actual COD?
From some teams, I think. My guess is that some teams, like let's look at a team like the Dallas Empire. I think they're just going to go so hard because they want to embarrass the opponent as much as they possibly can before they get to the league. Because it just like strikes fear. Is like, we just destroy them. Whereas like a team who's
I love that you think
not so great, they might troll a little bit more, break GAs, and pull out weird stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I mean,
it's possible.
I feel like the CDL would have very blatantly asked them to like, please play. If you are taking this seriously.
Well, here's the thing. Do you want them to take it serious? Like, for me personally, I would like to see them all break GA, like take it serious, but break like all GAs, play at the utmost, like most cheap thing that you can do that's allowed. That's what I want to see.
I want to see some dang good COD. That's what I want to see. I want to see them going hard.
We never see it. We haven't seen that in forever. I would love to see it.
I'm just so starved for competitive Call of Duty. I just want to see good Call of Duty.
Right.
I can't wait till February 11th to see good Call of Duty.
Like legit COD, yeah. I mean, think about it. We haven't watched S&D. I mean, legit S&D for so long. This is the longest we've ever gone without COD. It's tough, man. I cannot wait.
Rough.
Cannot wait to see what we got here. It's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see legit COD. I don't think any team's going to break GAs or anything. It would create too much drama for the beginning of the year for any of these teams and like risk scrims and anything else. I doubt they do that unless both teams agree to it, which is possible, I guess.
Well, it's a show match. Like, why would they even care? Like it's like it's for
I'm
fun.
hoping that
so,
they
like,
announce some sort of amount of money.
You know,
I'm surprised there's not like $5,000 on the line or something.
The other thing too is we didn't consider is like, will these matchups take into consideration at all when they're doing the snake draft for picking groups?
Well, aren't the groups already selected?
So like what? So we don't know then what that snake draft that Charlie Intel was talking about then. Like they said,
the
like
snake drafts for the first tournament.
Right.
But they're saying they're going to show it during the kickoff event. Like
they probably will. It's probably like the pre-show or something that they're going to do.
Yeah.
Or the post-show, I guess, maybe also.
Yeah, pre or post. Yeah.
Right.
So
I was confused. Yes. Yeah.
If it's going to be pre-show, then these matches won't matter to anyone who's picking those groups. But if it's post-show, maybe they're going to be like, oh, Paris was a little bit better than we thought, so maybe we'll pit you against Paris. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, there's just a lot of confusion with that draft for me still.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
Do we know when that draft's getting aired?
We don't know.
And we don't know if it's already happened yet, which is very possible that it already has.
That's true. And they just recorded it and they're going to show it.
Yeah. Although if you're the teams, I think you'd rather watch each team play, but if they're not going to take it seriously, then that's the question mark.
That's the thing.
There should be at least some sort of bonus.
Guys too, so like
that's true. They're all
right.
I mean, they're all.
I wish there was like a $5,000 or a $4,000 winning, like $1,000 per player if you win.
Yeah.
Like $1,000 winning.
You guys don't want to see them break GAs just to see what it looks like?
No, I want to see them sweat their balls off. I love some sweaty balls.
They're not playing for anything. Why not see something more like, we're going to see the regular stuff during the season.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just, I am so thirsty for good Call of Duty. I don't know, man. Like I can see how that would be entertaining though. Like they're breaking GAs and they're using stuff, but at the same time, it could just be like imagine there's 4 smokes or 8 smokes on the map at all times
in S&Ds.
In S&D, like that would be kind of boring.
Right.
I think it'd be
it'd
great,
be a lot boring.
just because it could be a big middle finger to the league. Like you need to put this in the rules because clearly this doesn't look good. But then you can do all that stuff to almost like prove a point. In a way, also, if you just decide to break GAs,
this is obviously a huge
rules.
test run for it's just it's a training wheels match for broadcast, for the teams, for probably for the servers, for Treyarch and how this plays, and for the game itself, and anything to find anything broken that could happen with the competitive rule set and anything else. I mean, this is a massive training wheels match that I'm just surprised there's no money on the line. Maybe there isn't money on the line because they're scared. Maybe there's no money on the line because they're scared something might go wrong, and they don't want there to be any money on the line. That's possible.
Yeah. Well, it's weird too. Like, didn't we not know that there was money on the line for like every home series last year?
They barely advertised.
They didn't even say anything about it.
There's $50,000 on the line.
Yeah, and so it was like, oh, okay, so they are actually playing for something besides just champs placement or champs seedings.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There could be something here that they're just not really advertising.
Yeah, it's
like
possible.
10,000, or I don't know.
Like again, like $1,000 per person for a win. It'd be like 20. It'd be what? That would be $24,000 for the league.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Well, this isn't a tournament. Like you guys are just playing one series, then it's done.
It's like a $4,000 match. The winner takes home $4K.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of fun. I mean, I'd be in. That would get me to watch. I feel like that would get a lot of people to watch, but who knows? Maybe. I mean, this might just full on be. Yeah, this might just literally just full on be a training wheels match, just full on. Like who knows?
Which is fine.
Yeah, for sure. But there is a lot to go on though, and if it's not, it'll be a ton of a really like a legit blast.
Yeah.
And so we got a lot of speculation to go through about what this could look like for each team. So let's kick this thing off finally. Let's talk about the Saturday matches first. Let's just go down the line for what we might see here on the weekend. So let's start off with the Dallas Empire New York Subliners match. This is a juicy one. Rex, lead the way, man. These are your squads. These are your boys. Dallas v New York.
This one
let's assume
kills my
this is
soul,
getting taken seriously.
Kills my soul. Empire, I think, is going to, if it's like totally serious matches, Empire, I think, is going to go in and just sweep them.
Kick the crap out of them.
Kick the crap out of them.
It's done. It's done before it even started, bro.
And my guess is, too, Clay will pull out like some random, like, crazy gun that Clay will break GAs.
Because like it's like a we weren't even trying type situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the teams that are like, worse or like that much worse are going to do stuff like that, so it's not as
that is an interesting thought.
Whereas a team like Empire, maybe, and a team like FaZe will maybe go in and just be like completely just like stomp them as hard as they can, to really
mess around more on S&D, not give away strats.
That team.
Yeah. My thought is S&D is like our team's really gonna go hard here in S&Ds. It'd be surprising because they don't want to give away their strats for opening weekend.
Right.
It is tough. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird because it's like teams just aren't playing much COD early on. I mean, you got this one match, and you're going to have 5 more matches over the span of like, February 20, whatever, to on and on. So I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think teams will go decently hard. But in regards to this match, for sure, 3-0 Dallas Empire, or Dallas.
Yeah.
Over Subliners.
I mean, it's hard not to predict a 3-0. I'd like to give New York the benefit of the doubt 3-1, but like they've just been so inconsistent in their scrims and what we've seen.
Yeah, man.
And we've seen basically nothing but consistency from Dallas. So it's like it's hard to go against the odds here and pick New York in any way. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you most excited to see in this? Like, what are you hoping to learn from this match? Is probably like a more interesting question overall for this weekend. I think for each match we can talk about something that we are hoping to learn from this match. I mean, I think first of all, I'm hoping to see S&D strats for the Subliners and how this plays out with them and their roles. And then how a sim holds up in a legit star-studded match against Dallas in respawns.
So it's for sure a sim, you think?
I don't think Hydra's even here, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's almost for sure. Oh, the other thing that we don't know yet is if teams are going to be playing this event all in the same facility or not. As far as we know, teams were expected to play all of their events this year in the same facility. So if you're OpTic, you have to all play from the Hex quarters, or if you're Envy, or if you're Dallas, you're playing from the Envy headquarters. Yeah. So that's a question mark as well. We don't necessarily, that has not been announced yet or officially made public. So we don't really know that yet, if that comes into a factor.
No, just thinking about the Subliners. We say that they're going to put ASIM in because that's who they've been scrimming with. But
Right.
Subliners has not announced any sort of roster signing with ASIM. So by the
True.
time this thing lands, will the league allow them to use somebody who's not even signed with them or anything?
Probably
Or will
not.
they make Hydra
Actually,
play,
It's weird too because
overseas?
Clay tweeted today about how Hydra just found out that he wasn't using 240 hertz, which I know there was a lot of that going on today.
Mhm.
All the pros, but he did say the
That's a really good point, Rex.
the French phenom Hydra just figured out how to use 240 hertz, so it's like they're
So they are
playing with Hydra.
maybe they are playing with Hydra then.
Yeah.
I mean, and then again, that's another kind of like excuse.
Because I mean, they were literally just recently playing with ASIM. Like, if they're starting to play with Hydra, it's been the last few days.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a good point, man. I think it might. Now that you say that, I think it might actually be Hydra. I don't know why that didn't come to mind earlier for me.
Yeah.
You're right, man. That's tough.
Which is
It'll
crazy.
be a Hydra on like 150 ping or something.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's the
Super-
thing. It's gonna be an excuse for them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, which I mean, hey, it could be worse, I guess.
it's a way
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess if that's the case, then I mean that'll be really interesting to see how Hydra plays on high ping.
Yeah.
But then also, I want to see how these roles for Dallas really look at a competitive setting and what they look like, not just in scrims, and how that plays out. I think it'd be a really fun match, but I think out of all the matches, even though you said that this match could be taken really seriously, I think this match might be taken less seriously than most of them, honestly.
LAG versus Surge?
No, Dallas Empire versus Subliners.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's going to be taken. I mean, I don't think Subliners are treated seriously.
I
Empire,
think
I'm
Dallas
kind of
will.
like unsure. But they also, now you say it, they might not also take it seriously because they don't want to like embarrass
Right.
Clayster.
And
kinda.
if they know a Sim's playing, like, they're not going to take it. Or if they know Hydra's playing instead of a Sim,
Yeah.
I feel like
I mean, they'll try and pull out weird stuff, I'm sure. They're probably planning like fun strats already, which will be,
yeah, I feel like we might see some wacky S&D stuff in this.
like
in
shots,
this
you'll do something
event.
real weird, some crazy spot
Yeah.
that you'll never use,
Yeah.
Yeah, try the weird jump route things that he likes love to do. I can see that happening. So LAG versus Seattle Surge.
Yes.
Thoughts here. First of all, what are you hoping to see?
Mhm.
What's the thing? What are you hoping to learn from this match?
Yes.
And then maybe a little prediction.
Yeah.
Sam, start us off.
I would love to see Pristini and Looney shine in the sub
Just
role.
dominate.
Yeah, because that is the biggest question mark is what can they do? Pristini hasn't been known for the slain SMG role. It's
And we
been-
haven't seen them streaming
Streaming
scrims. That's
scrims.
hard to say.
So yeah, I definitely want to see the Seattle team just to see how they perform, what their roles are within each other, and all that. Gunless too, like you'd assume Gunless would need to play a huge role in
Right.
the slaying power. So that's what I would love to learn from Seattle side. LAG, Apathy needs to go big.
Yeah.
I think
The revenge match.
the revenge silly. I need to see what he's bringing to the table too. Because I'm not quite sure.
There's a lot to learn in this match
I
about
know.
a lot of these guys. But
Yeah.
again, they're two of the teams that we expect to be near the bottom of the leaderboards right
Yes.
now, or the ladders or power rankings. So it's like it is a little bit tough. Rex,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really curious about this dynamic of Seattle Surge, just how it's all like, is it going to be good? Like the kind of claim, is it going to be like solid and strong, or is it really going to be weak? How well is Octane going to play? Because I have my doubts about him, and maybe other people are kind of starting doubting him a little bit more now. And
There
then
has been some
LAG,
public disarray.
just what is going on in LAG? They seem like they're doing terrible. I honestly hope they're not as bad as what we say, because 3 people on that roster won champs in World War II.
Right.
And this is the next boots on the ground 4v4, so you'd expect them to do great, but I don't think they will, but I hope I'm proved wrong.
Right. No, yeah, that's wild, dude.
It's funny.
I don't know. So, predictions then. Thoughts overall, Sam? Predictions?
Oh, man, this could just be a 3-2, like just close and maybe a little bit sloppy here and there, but I might give the edge to Surge here.
Okay.
Just pulling it out. Otherwise, yeah, this could just be a close game. I don't really have much to say. I don't know.
I think it's interesting. Yeah, both teams, we don't really know where these teams' strengths are yet.
Mhm.
That's the thing. Is like we're
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. Like how good other teams are in certain game modes, but the question mark is,
Mhm.
where's LAG at with hardpoint? Is Seattle going to be fine with S&D at this point. Where's their respawn
Honestly, it
at?
could be a 3-2 Gorillas just because of the S&D factor. Like, we know how abysmal Seattle was last year in S&D.
that was a completely different roster.
I know, but
There's as many Seattle players on that roster as there are on the LAG roster. With
I know, but like, does adding Looney, Pristini, and Gunless help with the
I
S&D?
think it helps.
Think so?
I think so. I think those
a little
are
bit.
perennially
I
good
don't know
S&D
how
players.
much, but
I would say they'll be fine in S&D. My bigger question mark is just straight up hard point right now for Seattle. I'm going to give Seattle the edge. I'm going to give them a 3-1. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, 3-1 LAG. But, man, it's hard to rule out LAG. I'd love to see them pop off.
yeah,
Rex?
I would too. I want to say LAG really bad, but I'm more up on Seattle than LAG. I'm
Yeah.
going to go 3-1 Seattle also.
Okay. All right, next up, FaZe. This is the Saturday night match. FaZe v. Florida, 5
This is a
p.m.
good
Central
one.
Time. This is a fun
Yeah.
one, man. I think this one could be taken fairly seriously.
This is probably the best one out of all of them.
I think so too, honestly. The one that I think I'm most interested to see and learn about with Neptune in that lineup now for Florida. We've only seen a little bit of them, and they haven't played a lot together yet.
Yeah.
But like, this is an interesting map, a probably pretty good learning experience for Neptune in a competitive setting, a fine-tuned match for them as a team.
Yeah.
And seeing how they play in these game modes, again, I'm just there. It's hard to predict with this team, considering we don't necessarily know how they're going to play besides the little peek we got to see.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think really the main thing here is just Neptune. You know, how is he going to perform? FaZe, you kind of know what you're getting. You're getting this dominant team.
We haven't seen scrims from their perspective,
Yeah,
though, in a long time.
true.
So
Yeah, so like maybe the only thing you could see is RC's on the main AR role. Just, you know, kind of see how he does there, what he brings to the table there. But yeah, I'm pretty much all eyes on Neptune, seeing how he performs with the team. And maybe Slack too, just seeing what Slack is doing on the map. Otherwise, this will be a really fun match to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely would give the edge to FaZe. 3-1 probably FaZe.
okay, all right, Rex.
I think this one's going to end up being really, really close. With Florida, yeah, curious to see Neptune, see how well he does with keeping up with FaZe. I'm always enthralled by Florida because they're a team with names that no one really cares so much about, but they're so strong against the strongest teams. And like, it never makes sense, but somehow they always do it and are consistent. But we never want to give them that credit, but they deserve it.
No.
And FaZe, you know,
I mean, they've just got such a weird roster. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 3-2 FaZe, but I could see Mutineers winning, honestly.
I mean, again, I think there's more for the Mutineers to prove in this match.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that narrative, I could see the Mutineers coming out and playing some really good COD because they're more motivated to get a dub out in this match. Because I mean, what does FaZe have to? You know, they don't have much to gain from this. Florida has a lot more to gain from this when it comes to like reputation and people are gonna be watching this match, the prime time match, the 5 p.m. match, on the first day. I could see this one going Florida's way. I'd like to buy in, but I don't see them clutching up in a Game 5, Round 11. So the question mark is, can they take off a hard point and a control?
Yeah.
And win like a, it's I don't know.
I give FaZe the S&D, like FaZe will win the S&D.
That's why I would imagine FaZe gonna have a pretty heavy advantage in S&D. So it's like, I don't know how you pick Florida. I'd like to pick Florida.
Be tough.
But I'll go 3-2 FaZe. I think it's gonna be pretty close. But yeah, I'll go 3-2 in a clutch Game 5 for FaZe. So all right, that gets us to our Sunday matches. It's kicking off with the European showdown, the battle, London Royal Ravens, Paris Legion. Seeing these teams going toe to toe. I mean, I'm excited, man. Thoughts on this one? Rex, start us off.
I want to see Paris Legion play together. That is the number one team that I'm like,
sir.
What is that? And I just want to see it happening. I want to see how good Fire 40 is and just how they synergize as a team. Ravens, we get to see Alex on that roster now and seeing like how he blends in with everything.
Right.
Are they going to be any better? Maybe they'll be worse. It's hard to say. I haven't seen a lot of scrims from either of these teams, and when the ones I did see,
only from
both of
other
them
people's
got
perspectives,
got destroyed. So it's like two bad teams. You know what happens? I'll say You know what? No, I'll go 3-1 Ravens. Almost wanted to give Paris a win, but I don't know. I can't believe it yet.
It just seems so
I
wrong
want to
give them a
believe.
win.
I want to believe in Paris Legion,
I want to
man.
believe in them too.
It's this roster still is just so strange to me.
This feels like I'm not gonna buy until I see it type situation.
Well, this is
It's
the
hard to
Scraps hype match too.
I know it's a
Oh,
revenge
for
match for
sure.
Scraps. This is gonna matter for him. This is going to matter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, but I feel like it's gonna matter for London too. You know,
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
they want to win this. I feel like this is gonna matter for both teams.
Yeah.
It's a match I'm really excited to see.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I would say 3-1 London.
I'll give him the ice. I'll pick 3-2 London.
Yeah.
In a close one, I give Paris the advantage. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Paris steals an S&D and, you know.
I can see
It
Paris
makes
winning
it
the
happen. They
series.
can
I almost
split.
want to flip to Paris winning the series, but
I mean, you have to give the respawn advantage to London at this point.
Right.
Like, it only makes sense. And like, then you think about S&D, and it's like they played pretty good in S&D at champs last year. And it's like, how do you, most of that roster is the same, you know. And what we've seen, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 3-2 for London right now.
only thing I know is that Paris was keeping up with OpTic
They were.
somewhat in the hard points.
There were some ugly ones though.
There were some ugly ones, but this is like in scrims. But they kept up and even won some, and so that's what makes me think they're stronger than anyone gives them credit for. Like if they're going toe to toe with OpTic in these hard points, it might mean something. But they might have just had a good day.
Right. That's the biggest thing for me. I don't know. I'm not sure. So wait, what's your final prediction? Are you sticking with the 3-1?
I'm sticking with. I'll stick with the 3-1, 3-2 Ravens. I'm
Okay.
going 3-2.
All
There
right.
you
Join
go.
the club. Join the club.
Join the club.
All right, next one up is the Toronto Ultra Minnesota Rocker match. This is a fun one as well, man. They really killed us. The Battle of the North. Again, we're finally seeing the Rocker roster
Mhm.
in action and seeing what they can do there. I mean, I don't know, man. Obviously, I would lean Rocker here, give him the edge.
Yeah.
What are you hoping to see in this match? What are you hoping to learn?
Yeah.
The role situation, the pacing,
Yes. Again, Priesta. I want him to
the Slayer.
just shine, just go all out. You know, he's been playing a different role.
I mean, same with Attach though.
Yeah, attached to.
They've been support SMGs.
Yeah, those two need to be a dynamic duo. Accuracy, I want to see him do really well too. I've been kind of down on him the past 2 years, really. I
Right.
guess. Haven't seen a whole lot from him since World War II. But otherwise,
Now's the time.
yeah, that's the time. Ultra. Again, I think you need to see those. You need to see Kleenex and Cammy go big. I was really impressed with Methods last year. I was thoroughly impressed
Especially
with
the second half of the year.
Yes, he was really good. So I think he'll continue to be fantastic.
Eyes on Bance.
Bance too. He's kind of the X factor. Will he kind of drop, or will he pull his weight?
Again, we've talked about this. I mean, Rex, I'm sure you're going to bring this up, but like, you know, Bance is the guy. It's like if he starts struggling early in this year, I feel like he's the guy that gets looked at real quick for a roster move.
He'll be
you know?
the first. He'll be the first to be dropped on that squad for sure.
Yeah, so it's like that's the question mark there. I mean, Rex, what are you looking at in this match?
Yeah, just seeing the new Rocker squad, see how well they play together.
I'm excited,
Will Ultra's strength that they were showing at the end of Modern Warfare carry over to this year in Cold War?
Yeah, man.
I really want to believe that that's true. Cammy and Kleenex have their skills carried over.
They've been really inconsistent in the scrims that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I've really seen any Ultra scrims. If they're showing inconsistency in scrims, I'll give the advantage to Rocker.
But again, that's
But-
not from their point of view. So who
Yeah.
knows?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Ultra. They've been together for a
Really?
while.
Really?
They showed a lot of strength at the end of Modern Warfare, and people were still doubting. But like,
Which
they
team has more
could
to
have beat
gain?
Empire. They could have beat FaZe.
It's like the Rocker.
They could have beat these people. And then Rocker's a fully new squad, and I think they might be a little bit of an overhyped squad, if I'm being completely honest. So I'll
Really?
go 3-1. 3-1 Ultra.
Jeez.
Rocker could prove
3-1.
me wrong easily, but for some, in my gut, it just
If anything,
tells me
I would say
overhyped a
3-2
little
because
bit.
we saw how good at the end of the year last year Ultra was in S&D. But like again, the Ultra were a team that came out so slow last year, and I don't know if it's going to change. I mean, they do have the differences of with Kleenex in there now.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be a 3-0, 3-1.
Well,
I was
they
gonna
formed
say-
some sort of weird
gonna
bond
say-
near the end.
They did. No, they looked really good at the end of the
I was
year
gonna
last year.
say, I'm thinking 3-0 Rocker.
That's putting a lot of faith in the Rocker squad.
Like, not saying it'll be like a blowout 3-0. Like, it'll probably be like a close 3-0.
I feel like the Rocker will have something like they want to make a statement here that they're a
yeah.
contender.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of faith, and I think even Major Maniac, like he'll bring a ton to the
I
table.
think both these teams could be slow starting teams, though.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Rocker have a lot of things to work out with their pacing and the differences in roles from the past few years from, multiple of these guys for how they're playing. I lean. I'll go 3-1 Rocker. 3-1 Rocker. Leaning that way. I could see it going. This could easily go either way, though. I mean, this could be a very close series. Honestly, a 3-0 for the Ultra wouldn't even surprise me much. At the end of the day, like that type of team, they can come out, catch fire, and really show up. I mean, like that's 100% facts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So, what was your final?
3-0.
Okay, all right, hot fire. Now into our last match of the weekend. This is the Sunday night match: OpTic versus LA Thieves,
Big
baby.
names.
Obviously, this was inevitable. This was going to be the matchup for the final match of the weekend. And man, Rex, take it away.
OpTic
What
3-1.
do you want to see from this match? Oh,
Yeah.
OpTic 3-1, really?
Yeah, I think OpTic has been looking. I'm higher on OpTic now than I think I was last year.
Like
they
going into
I think they've
when?
definitely improved. I mean, I wasn't even down on OpTic or Huntsman last year, but they even look like they've just upgraded again this year, and I'm more confident in them this year.
Yeah.
Are they as good as Empire? No. FaZe, I think FaZe and them can start really competing against each other. And I'm kind of seeing
this
Empire
week-
at that number 1 spot in my mind.
This week in my head, Empire kind of hopped FaZe.
Yeah, I think so too. Where it's like tier 1 Empire, then tier 2 FaZe, OpTic, and then everybody else is in a tier below that.
I think so. That could change this weekend depending on how LA Thieves plays in this match. I'm hoping these two teams take it seriously because I would love to see LA Thieves and both of them go toe-to-toe. And Thieves keep it close, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't wait to see how this LA Thieves team plays, man.
Fun.
I would love to see him come out and look really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm just not necessarily convinced it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. I think we'll see an OpTic Chicago win. But I think Thieves will keep up.
We got Texas Thieves now, man.
Yeah. So I would say 3-1 OpTic.
I'd love to see this go game 5.
It would be a sick game 5. But Temp is still that like I don't know what he's gonna be like.
True. I mean, Temp and Tej.
Yeah.
I think you know what you're getting with Kenny and Slasher at this point.
For sure.
Tej has just been, after last year, you're just like, I
know.
thought I knew what I was getting with Tej.
I know.
Until last year.
And then Temp is
Temp with that team, he could be incredible. He could be fantastic, but it's like, do I trust it? I don't trust it enough to pick it right now. So I'll agree. Although I'll go with the 3-2, man. I think these can hang in there, but I don't have the confidence in taking them in like a long-term type situation here. So yeah. I think I'll go 3-1 or 3-2 OpTic to beat LA Thieves. Shout out that match. It'll be a blast. So
be fun.
There it is, boys. That is the podcast. Obviously, a marathon of a podcast. It is a late one for you guys. Sam's about to fall asleep over here. But again, guys, shout out DraftBuff for supporting the episode, supporting the podcast, supporting the channel. Link is down in the description to go create your league, invite your friends, and drop a comment down below on the pinned comment to find a league to join as well if you're looking for league mates, or join the Discord and search for league mates there, or head to the Twitter. We're doing the giveaway, and you can potentially find league mates there and join the giveaway as well.
Or, like 3 ors in a row there.
Or
Join
the end of the
giveaway.
episodes right now. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you guys did, like, comment, subscribe, share the episode if you guys really enjoyed it. Drop a comment down below on YouTube. Share the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and drop a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll be reading a lot more of them in the upcoming few weeks. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite. To my right is Bash_Bo3. And to our farthest right, per usual, is Rex Shady Nero. And guys, this has been the Best of 3 Call of Esports podcast. We will see you next time. We out.
Bye.